Hey, this is Mike with Skolton's Equipment, and today we're looking at a competitive comparison between the B Series Kubota and the Boomer New Holland. A few weeks back, I was fortunate enough to trade in this Boomer 24 New Holland from a customer who only put like 10 hours on it. And it's kind of unheard of. Most people don't trade after 10 hours unless there's something that just bugs them about it, or usually a power issue or just a feature issue that makes them want to trade in at that type of hour range. It wasn't a power issue. The customer's complaint was that it just didn't feel good. And I kind of took that with a grain of salt, and I'm like, well, whatever. I don't know what he was talking about until I actually sat on the tractor and drove it, and I kind of understood what he was talking about. But besides just how it felt, there's some big key differences between the B Series Kubota and the Boomer Series New Holland. From the outset, just looking in, the 24 is kind of in between our B26, which is over there. That's a B2301, which is 25 horsepower. So you might look from the outside looking in, you might say, oh, the Boomer's right in the middle. Well, not really. The Boomer 24 is actually pretty much a direct comparison to the B2301. If you want a little more power, this is all New Holland's got to offer in this frame size, the Boomer 24. If you want more power, you have to go up a frame size if you're looking at a New Holland. With a Kubota, you can go to the B2601 in the same frame size. So Kubota's got two options, New Holland's got one. I think that's a big advantage for Kubota. So if you maybe just want loader horsepower or loader lift capacity, the 2301 is going to do just as much as the 2601. So just keep that in mind. So the New Holland Boomer 24 is not built by New Holland. And the Kubota B2301 and all Kubota tractor products that have diesel engines are all built by Kubota. That's a big advantage for if you're looking at a tractor and you're looking at longevity and parts availability down the line. The Kubota is built by Kubota. They're always going to have parts for a Kubota. New Holland has been in and out of relationships with manufacturers for the past 20 years, maybe my whole life, on compact tractors, getting made by someone and then they abandon that relationship, go to another one. Currently, that Boomer 24 is built by a company in South Korea called LS. They build their own tractors. They're also blue, but the New Holland doesn't build their own tractors. So if they keep this relationship going for quite a while, it's not going to be a huge issue. But knowing New Holland and some of their agreements they've had in the past, I wouldn't count on them keeping this agreement for very long and maybe making their own again at some point. And then parts availability is going to become difficult to come by. Aside from where they're manufactured, who manufactures, Kubota manufactures everything you see here except the tires. New Holland, it's a menagerie of different manufacturers. I don't know who makes the loader. I imagine New Holland might make the loader. I think Mitsubishi makes the engine. I couldn't find a spec on the transmission, so I don't know who makes the transmission. The rear end, I believe, is similar to a Yanmar, but it might just be an LS rear end. So you might be able to see kind of some of the difficulties that might lie down the road when the tractor might break down. The Kubota is built by Kubota, 100%. Aside from where they're built, functionality, I think the Kubota is hands down superior. The Kubota has a 3-range hydrostat. You might ask what that means. It has a low, a medium, and a high gear. The New Holland just has a low and a high. So yeah, low is great for power, high is good for speed. The medium is kind of a mix of both. And when I'm working a tractor around the property here, I like to be a medium a lot because you have good power and you're not going super slow. It's a good mix of both. But if you still need the power, you can still go to low if you need to. And if you still want more speed, you can go to high if you want to. It's just a big advantage with the B Series Kubotas all the way up to the MX Series has high, medium, and low. The Boomer, like I said, only has a high and a low transmission, which it's inferior if you ask me. There's a lot of things I can compare, but the main one was where it's built and how the transmission is configured. And all the other ones, I'm going to start from the front to the back on these tractors and work back. So, as you can see, this bucket on the Kubota is quite a bit bigger than the bucket on the New Holland, mainly because this Kubota, I think, can lift a little bit more, so they're able to afford a bigger bucket. Doesn't mean you can't put a bigger bucket on this one. This one just comes standard with this bucket. Also, the Kubota is standard with a 2-lever quick attach bucket, skid steer style. It's not any proprietary bucket to like Kubota's only. Any skid steer attachment will fit on this loader. Going back, we got grill guard. The grill guard on the New Holland, it's there, but it's dinky. Even the Kubota grill guards can leave something to be desired a little bit if a stick's going through here. I see a lot of guys they put beefier grill guards even on this one. So when you look at this grill guard, at first glance, you might not even be able to see it because it's hardly there. There's just 2 little bars that cover the corners of the grill. The middle, the lights, they're all very vulnerable. Even on the Kubota with a much better grill guard, they're still vulnerable. Don't get me wrong. Grill guards are, some guys do really beefy ones, some guys don't need beefy ones. But if I'm going for stock standard features, the Kubota's got a way better grill guard. Rolling back, we'll get to the loader in a second, but since we're at hood level here, I thought I'd talk about the hood. On Kubota, whoops, the lever's over here. You got a one-piece hood design. Just like that. The New Holland Boomer, or the LS they might call it, is a two-piece. And you have to, that's a finger getter. It's a two-piece hood. Not only is it a two-piece hood, if you had a magnet on this right now, it wouldn't stick. It's not a metal hood, it's plastic. You know, I could go on and on day and night about plastic hoods versus metal hoods. Half of it's preference, half of it's reality. Plastic is not as strong or as durable as, or as long-lasting as a metal hood. I don't know. Some people might say they don't dent as easy. I can see that. But they do crack way easier than a metal hood. Because it's a two-piece hood, in order to get at the bottom components of this engine, you would have to remove this cowling off. And the Kubotas of like 5 years ago had this same design. So I know this is kind of a pain in the butt, and that's why Kubota stepped it up to a one-piece hood design. New Holland, or LS, they're just a little bit further behind, and that's something you'll get from a manufacturer like New Holland who doesn't build their own tractors. They're getting what what LS puts forward, and if they were designing their own stuff like Kubota is, they'd be able to make changes and make the tractors a little better as they go. But it's just going to be a slower process for product developments. I do like their handle. I will say that's a nice place to put the handle. The Kubota is a pull. You might have saw me reach around. I had to know where it is. If I had to give a compliment to this, it has a nice handle, nice and easy to grab, and you just kind of slam them. There you go. I think the biggest selling feature on Kubota's newer, smaller products like the Bs, the BXs, and the LXs is the loader. This is a swift attach loader design. I can take this loader off in literally under 20 seconds without getting off the tractor and without getting my hands dirty. That's a big benefit. This is not a bad loader design either, but it's not a swift attach loader. So you do have to take it off. It's going to take a minute, or it's going to take a little longer. It's not going to be terrible to get off, but you're going to get your hands dirty because you don't have the swift attach hydraulic manifold design like the Kubota does on the BX and also the B and now the LX. You have these hydraulic hoses down here, which brings me to another point. The hydraulic hoses on this New Holland are super vulnerable. I've never seen one this vulnerable before from getting ripped off. They are low to the ground. They're almost the lowest part of the tractor. They're right behind the wheel, and they're sticking out almost the widest part of the tractor. And they're easy to get at, but they're easy to get at for the twigs, branches, sticks, rocks, whatever you have in your property. They're going to get those hydraulic couplers. The Kubota, the manifold's tucked inside the loader frame, super protected compared to the Boomer LS24. Moving on back, the operator's platform. So the Kubota's got some features that this one just doesn't have. I don't know if the Boomer has options for these features, but I do not think they do. The main feature that I noticed right away, we got armrests on the Kubota, which seem minor, but when you're driving your tractor a lot around your property, armrests become really handy and help you with fatigue at the end of the day. Also, we got a tilt steering wheel. The New Holland has neither of those two features. And I know someone in the comments is going to say you can add armrests. Great, you can add them, but it's standard on the Kubota. I don't think you could add a tilt steering wheel. The tilt steering wheel is not available on this. And like 10 years ago on the B series Kubota, it wasn't either. But product developments, product improvements, Kubota's they keep making their product better, and it shows. New Holland, on the other hand, deals with a third line manufacturer, or LS, and they just get what LS gives them. So you can't blame LS too much about this, but this is what they got. Or New Holland, sorry. And moving back on the tractor, we're actually going to go underneath. Both of these tractors are equipped with a mid-mount PTO, and they both are. You can turn it on or off. You can run them both at the same time. They're very equal in this matter, but remember, the 2301 is 22 horsepower, but has more horsepower out the PTO than this 24 horsepower New Holland. So that is on the back PTO. you can imagine it's going to translate also to the mid PTO where you're running on a mower deck. You're going to have more power with less horsepower on a B2301. And if you want more power yet, you can go to a 2601 and even have more power yet. Moving on back, we're kind of just standing the operator platform here. On the New Holland, you have a up and down for your 3-point arms. It's a lot like our BX series, to be honest. Our BX series is just up and down. It's not positional. On our B series, we have a selector, so you can go, you don't have to be just up or down. You can be 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can set your position on the 3-point. That's a huge deal. I wish we had it on our BX. I think it's coming, and it's on our B series, but it's not on the Boomer. The competitive comparison here between the B and the Boomer, it's just missing that. And when you use a tractor without the position 3-point, you'll miss it. It's if you're used to it, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you're not, you might get away with it. Staying in the operator platform, the Kubota has a left and right brake pedal, which honestly on the B series is kind of a new thing. They used to not have this. They used to have a clutch and the brakes are on this side, but because they got rid of the clutch pedal on these B series, they can put the right and left hand brake on the floor, so you can actually use them and brake steer, which is a huge deal if you want to turn sharp. The New Holland, it only has one brake pedal. I think it's a brake. It's not a clutch. They did away with the clutch, but they could have easily put right and left hand brakes on this tractor, but I guarantee you the biggest reason they didn't is because it's expensive. It's not a cheap option for Kubota to put that on there, but because Kubota knows what the customers are asking for, it took a while for Kubota to do that. And one of the reasons I imagine they didn't do it as soon is because it is an expensive option to have right and left brakes on the Kubota. I will give props to the New Holland. They have one feature that I found that the Kubota does not have. They do have a footstep, and it's not a bad footstep. But you can add the footstep on the Kubota. It's not standard, but it's a lower platform tractor, so a lot of people actually don't want the footstep because it catches stuff. But this footstep is not near as low as those hydraulic couplers. So those are going to catch the things first. Your step's probably safe. But anyways, it does have a step. The Kubota does not have a step, but you can add a step if you want a step. Personally, I'm a little taller. I don't need a step. They both have folding roll bars, but as you notice, this roll bar folds here. So this is going to be about your lowest point if you needed to fold the roll bar to get in a building. On the Kubota, we're a little lower on our folded roll bar, so you're going to have more clearance. Just saying a tractor has a folded roll bar doesn't mean the same thing. So the Kubota, they did a lot of studying on this and decided where this had to be on the height-wise, legally, safely, and this is the lowest it probably could be. New Holland, they got a folding roll bar on their LS tractor. They probably didn't have any say in what height it was or anything. That's just what LS provided them, and they wanted a folding roll bar, and that's what you get. So looking at the backs of these tractors, you might say, yeah, they both have 3-point, but not all 3-points are created equally. And you can see this has sway links that are screws, or I call them threaded sway links. Some of our Kubota models that are more economy models have that same setup, but more of our premium models like this B01 series have adjustable sway links with pins, so you don't have to worry about threading or getting the threads cross-threaded or dirty or lubing up threads to adjust your 3-point links. Well, thanks for watching our comparison between the Kubota and the LS New Holland. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe. If you question some of my theories on the comparison between the two, go look at them yourself. I fully suggest you do that. Also, we have fun doing these videos, and we like your comments below. Give suggestions on other comparisons you want to see, and we'll try to do them. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Think you can make a video out of all that?
Yep.